just go for a different grip. It was more like a no-gi grip. So Carl has rib cage control. This says no-gi. We looked at this before. So another way of breaking this posture was swimming in with my hands. So I come underneath, I swim with my hands. Okay. As I pull forward with my knees, I'm pulling forward and then getting head and arm control. You see this all the time in MMA where the guy breaks his posture and he's controlling him. Okay, so again, whether I get into it through that setup doesn't really matter, but my left arm, okay, is going to feed underneath. Okay, so I've got this overhook again. So I want to get on my side. Okay, so same thing. I can put my foot on his hip escape out. Okay. I want to make sure my hand's on his shoulder, my right hand, or his head, because my goal is I want to bring my knee inside so I can get my right foot on his left hip and my right knee on his left shoulder. And again, for those guys that have been here a while, this is box principle, where I'm controlling both hips and both shoulders, which means Carl can't put weight on me and pressure me, right? If he does, he's moving me back because I've made frames. So from here, last time we did the choke, okay, this time, and they work really well together. This time I'm going to attack this arm here, the one that I've got in the overhook. Okay, so my right hand that was on the shoulder until I replace it with my knee. Once I bring my knee in and I'm controlling his far shoulder, then I can move this hand and it's going to come to Carl's right shoulder. So I'm going to torque Carl's shoulder away from me because I want the back of his elbow facing the mat. As my left hand, my left overhook comes underneath the elbow and I'm torquing his arm to nearly get his thumb pointing up. I grab his shoulder, left hand grabs my wrist. To get the submission, I make sure my knees are pinched. I can use my wrists just to get it by rolling them. Or if I really want, I can put my hip into it, which I'm not going to do. Okay? So one more time. We can do it from here, that same grip again. So I break his grip, get head and arm control. Okay, my left arm's coming underneath, so I've got my overhook. I want to get onto my side, and as I do that, I'm bringing my knee in. Another thing I can do is I can push on his head to create space to bring my knee in. Okay, so my right foot's on his hip. One more detail is I want to make sure my knees are pinched, because if my knees are flared, I can push that knee down past my guard. So I want to make sure that when I get to here, I'm pinching my knees together. Okay, so once my knee comes in and I've made the frame, okay, on his far shoulder, my right hand's going to come to this shoulder. And again, it depends on where his elbow is. If his thumb's pointing down, okay, I want to make sure that my right hand is going to torque his shoulder as my left hand, my overhook hand, is coming underneath. Okay, because I want to get his thumb pointing up. Grab the shoulder, grab the wrist. I can roll, I'll loosen it up a little bit. Okay, I can roll my wrists, I pinch my knees together, and I can also lift my hips to get the top. So that's your straight arm lock. One more time. So again, with this no gi, rib cage control, I'm pulling with my knees. I can go straight into it from here, or maybe in the process of the match, I end up at head and arm control. Okay, so I can feed my hand in. This time I'm not even going to grip the lapel. Okay. As I hip escape, I'm pushing on his head to move my knee to bring it inside. So I've got 2 feet on his hips and my knees on the shoulder, and I'm pinching my knees. Okay. Hand comes to the shoulder. I rotate. Sometimes if you don't get this, let's just say I try to turn. The detail is I'm trying to use the sharp edge of my wrist to turn Carl's elbow up. Okay, but if Carl's really smart, okay, he's going to keep his elbow down. So sometimes if I keep the overhook, I can bring my left knee down on top of his shoulder. You might get that, or if you don't get that, we'll switch to the omoplata, which will be next week's move, okay? So, one more time. Break the grip, control the head, pushing his head, hip escape, get my knee inside, I pinch my knees. Grab the shoulder, so I'm turning it anti-clockwise as I roll my wrist. Once I get his thumb up, pinching my knees, I can just flex my wrists, or if I want, loosen that a bit, I can lift my hips into it. Okay, so there's your straight arm lock, guys, from Coach Bar.